As current National Assembly winds up its activities, members of the incoming 8th section of National Assembly have been advised to put national interests of the nation building above their personal interests. A member of the outgoing 7th National Assembly, Honorable Opeyemi Bamidele, gave the advice in a chat with Ben TV in Abuja. Opeyemi said he believed the 8th section of the National Assembly will not be a business as usual.
The 8th session of the National Assembly, to make a headway, the first must understand the milieu, and the circumstances within which they are coming to operate. It's time for us to really, walk by sight as we continue to walk by faith. Members of the 8th National Assembly must appreciate the fact that it's not going to be business as usual for us as a country. They must appreciate the fact that our oil fortunes are dwindling, and we can only hope and pray for the best in that regard. They must appreciate the fact that Nigerians are wiser politically. The lessons of March 8, 2015 election must also dawn on them, and they also must appreciate, some of the factors, that led to less than 55 people returning back to the House of Representatives out of 360 people, and same, in the Senate.
He also called on the 8th section of the National Assembly to drum support for the anti-corruption crusade of the incoming administration of Muhammadu Buhari.
For the anti-corruption crusade, of the incoming administration to have meaning, because to wage a war against corruption, the executive arm will need the National Assembly, definitely, for the war to succeed. At the level of legislative oversight alone, so much can be done in waging anti-corruption, war. The National Assembly must be ready to do its own job, must be above board, and must not be driven by what is in it, for them. Your concern should not be what is in this budget proposal, for us. Your concern should be to ensure that equitable distribution of our wealth as a nation, our commonwealth, equitable distribution of the projects, to ensure that there's geopolitical balancing.
Meanwhile, Opeyemi Bamidele has formally returned back to All Progressive Congress on the floor of the Green Chamber during the last week's sitting. In Abuja, Muyiwa Bamidele reporting. The race for the leadership of the National Assembly is now open to all eligible senators-elect and members of the House of Representatives. As the 8th National Assembly convened from June this year, the new leadership is expected to emerge. The political party that have majority member in each chambers of the National Assembly will form the leadership. To this end, All Progressive Congress is expected to lead the National Assembly in the next political dispensation because of its success in the last National Assembly election. Speaking on the criteria for the election of the National Assembly leader, the national leader of APC, former Lagos State Governor Bola Tinubu, said the party will go for merit instead of zoning.
The nation is expecting us to take a decisive leadership decision, make one, meritoriously. Merit will not be compromised. You have to be competent, you have to possess the kind of character, attributes for the leadership. You have to be pan-Nigerian and be a very solid character to lead the National Assembly. And that is what we are talking about. It's not only to compromise quality of leadership and qualification and competency of an individual.
Muyiwa Bamdele reporting from Abuja.
The Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, has charged officers and men of the Nigerian Police Force to shun every act that could bring the police force to disrepute in any way. The IGP, who made this charge during an interactive session with inspectors of police nationwide in Abuja, said that the only way they can fight crime in their locality is to make sure that they uphold the tenets of the police force, which respects the fundamental rights of every individual in the society.
We have talked about the issue of corruption. We said we are not going to allow it. We said we are not going to expose you people to those things that will make you people to be corrupt. Because of that, we decided that we're going to cancel all roadblocks across the length and breadth of the country. We have also emplaced patrol vehicles, and those officers, we have told them that anytime they are on duty, anytime they are on the highway, we are going to feed them once a day. So if we are going to feed you while you're on duty, there is no cause for you to collect money from any members of the public. You will not invite anybody to our facilities and detain them for more than 48 hours. You must ensure that you gather evidence before anybody is invited to our police stations.
On the issues of police officers serving as domestic help to government officials and other members of the public, and those officers who get entangled in land-related issues, the police boss says that a directive has been given to command commissioners to arrest any police officer found guilty of such.
Henceforth, only government officials will enjoy police protections. Those of you who are posted to various VIPs on no account should you carry their bags. On no account should you act as domestic servants to them. I have directed the Commissioner of Police in charge of the airport that if they find any of you carrying boxes and rifle and dragging them all over the place, they should arrest you. All those of you who get involved in land matters and commercial matters, we have advised that you should desist from them. The police does not grant the right of land to anybody. You can only advise them that they should take their matters to court whenever they come before you.
On the controversial issue of officers buying uniforms, the police boss said that a new system is coming on board where command commissioners will be made to give account of uniforms made available to their commands. The event featured questions and answers from police officers nationwide. From Abuja, I'm Festus Ejiroga Nefifen for Ben Television.
The Transition Committee of All Progressive Congress has submitted a report to the President-elect Muhammadu Buhari ahead of May 29 handover date. The report contains findings of useful tips that will guide the incoming government of Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. The chairman of the APC Transition Committee, Ahmed Jordan, told journalists that they focus on the national interests that will help the new government.
Address issues that are important to Nigeria: security, the economy, the social system, and matters like that.
Ahmed Jordan also gave an insight into the economic challenge that the Muhammadu Buhari administration will tackle.
It's bad, and because we all know, perhaps some of us here are direct salaries and wages, and in some cases have not been paid for months, and the situation may even be getting worse. So the economy is bad, but we haven't got the government side. We don't know their figures. All what we are doing now is guesswork.
There were indications that APC's transition committee did not receive enough cooperation from the federal government committee led by Vice President Nnamdi Sambo. Over a fortnight ago, Ahmed Jordan-led committee was inaugurated to understudy the outgoing government of President Goodluck Jonathan. From Defense House, Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
A coalition of civil society groups have called on President Goodluck Jonathan to sign the National Tobacco Control Bill passed by the Senate and House of Representatives recently as a parting gift to Nigerians. The group made the call at a Tobacco Control Community/Media Forum in Abuja. They said signing the bill into law will help to reduce the increase of deaths caused by tobacco products in the country.
We know a lot of harm it does even to women, for instance, who are pregnant and do smoke. It causes some form of deformity and the rest of them. So when we talk about, we are not saying, one of the things we are saying is that, the tobacco industry, for you to get to a level where you become addicted to tobacco, most people don't start smoking maybe at 21. You don't see maybe somebody that is already 21-year-old or 25-year-old picking up the habit of smoking. So the idea for most of this tobacco industry is to target teenagers and youths. And the nicotine in tobacco makes it addictive. It becomes difficult for you to live.
The time is not on our hand. The National Assembly itself is coming to its terminal end on June 4. The unfortunate thing is also that we are now having a change of president. And we don't think, or we don't believe, and there's no indication that a bill passed under this assembly can be carried over for a new president to sign. So we basically have 7 days to get the National Assembly complete the documentation that are necessary to support this bill.
Since this effort started in 2003, and we've now been closer to getting this bill actually assented to by the president. So just to say that this is actually our only opportunity, if I'll put it that way, to just get this done and dusted, so that we can start talking about implementation. And the thing is, while we've been on this bill since 2003, smaller countries like Ghana, like Senegal, have got their bills passed. Senegal got theirs passed within 6 months. Just to say that this is not a very big deal. It's doable.
Responding to questions on the implications of the president not signing the bill before May 29th handover date, Director, Corporate Campaign and Environmental Rights Action, Akimbode Oluwafemi, stressed that such a development would be a setback to the effort of the public health experts in ensuring the nation join the community of nations that have signed and domesticated the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control.
Part of what we're doing today is to make them, even the president, to know that the world is watching. Long time ago, like about 3-4 years ago, he actually gave me some interest. Asked questions about why the bill was not passed, and his ministers at several platforms promised that they were going to do that. So, for us, that or we can still bank on it. It's indicative of the president meaning to sign this bill. But we need this media pressure, sustained media pressure for these last few days to also, make the president realize that the public is also very much interested in what he's going to do.
LM Chugwamika reports.